All right, here we are today. I am Nate O'Reilly, and we are going to build a DevSecOps product right now. One that's ready to sell. We can start selling it. Okay, yes, okay. So we're going to start selling something, but we don't have anything to sell at all. We actually don't have anything. So what if you have nothing and you're ready to just start making something, and in less than an hour you want to start trying to promote your thing that you made and you want to just start selling services? Let's do it. Let's just go. So first and foremost, DevSecOps, what is it? It's a philosophy about how to develop solutions. Online solutions could be software, could be different things, in a secure way where we put security up front. And by having security baked into the process, it lets us move fast. So, what kinds of products can we make? With DevSecOps, you can make many different types of products. You could make a website. You could make pen testing tools. And you could make, who knows what, an app, like web app, or phone app. And so basically, let's just say software. So if you want to build software, then let's take a look. So maybe you want to build a website, maybe you want to build pen test tools, maybe you want to, well, let's do a high level overview of what does the process look like. So how do we do this? So it's not that bad. We're going to build something called a developer vault. So this is a DevSecOps practice, so we're going to build ourselves a developer vault. So basically, as a developer, we can move faster, we can code things, and we don't have to worry about, uh-oh, maybe I did the wrong thing. Maybe I didn't do something that wasn't very secure. We don't have to panic. We don't have to worry about the world ending. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to start building our product off of the public web. And then we're going to mirror our product up to the public web. And then if something happens to our product in the public web and it's doomed and it gets destroyed, we don't have to panic. We don't have to be like, oh no, I wish I'd have started differently, or I wish I'd have done something to save my product before it got destroyed and hacked or whatever happened. So we're going to start off of the public web. So what we're going to do to make that possible is first we're going to need GitLab self-hosted. Now, why not a lot of other different types of things? GitLab lets you self-host things. Not only does GitLab let you self-host, but we're trying to do DevSecOps here. We need security to be part of this process. We need security scans. We need ways to make sure that we can analyze things. We need to be secure and safe. Not just have a way to have Git running local in a local environment. And GitLab has all of those tools and resources that we need to make that quite possible. Now, next, what we're going to do is we need an integration center to send everything up to. So we're going to send that to GitHub as a mirror. So we're going to set up a GitHub mirror. And this is basically, we could think of this as production. So anyone who's been doing DevOps or DevSecOps, let's toss some jargon on this, right? So this would be our dev environment. And then this would be our production environment. And the thing about our production environment is by having our GitHub be our production environment and then doing our development where everything is mirrored over to GitHub. Once again, if we're just trying to get something out there and trying to move fast, sometimes things like security gets missed, or we make some little oopsies, or something happens. Or let's say you're getting your product off the ground and you don't have like a lot of resources yet, then getting a breach early on just tends to be the end of an early product or project. But there is a convenient way to get GitLab configured And if you don't know how to manually configure GitLab or don't prefer to manually configure GitLab, I'm going to recommend the Underground Nexus, which you can go to cloudunderground.dev. You can check out the Underground Nexus on our website, Underground Nexus. And you can get started with this where it will build your GitLab environment for you. So here's a quick start guide in there. So let's get back to this. So anyways, you can use the Underground Nexus so let's see. Underground Nexus configures GitLab on AMD 64 systems for you so that you don't necessarily have to know how to do that. So, you know, even if you know how to configure GitLab, the thing about it is the Underground Nexus is a hardened, containerized structure that you can run virtual machines and you can do different things, but it's also adds a lot of security right out of the box. So in the spirit, if you're really trying to do fast DevSecOps, have things that build themselves for you, and the Underground Nexus is a great way to spin up as many GitLab self-hosted instances as you might want, or at least just one, and just get started without, how do I build the thing? How do I configure the things? How do I troubleshoot this? Well, it's not working all of a sudden. You might still have to troubleshoot the Underground Nexus, but at least you're not troubleshooting everything that went into building the Underground Nexus. Instead, you're just troubleshooting one thing until it works, until you have GitLab running. Because if you get it working in general, then boom, you have GitLab. Now, GitHub is a lot easier because GitHub, just go to github.com. Amazing. GitHub.com. It exists, everyone. So no need to worry about how you're going to host this. So we'll just outline here. You need one server. So, okay, so we'll just put it this way. It requires a server. Yes, this is messy. We're doing it. To run Underground Nexus. So you're going to need to figure out how you want to do that. Alternatively, it requires a GitHub account, so that's just online. But really, that's all you need. Is the server is probably the most expensive part, unless you decide to upgrade to either GitLab Premium or Ultimate, or if you want to use something like GitHub Enterprise or something along those lines, or an upgraded tier. So what we're going to then do is we will then make our product available from GitHub on LinkedIn. Now, this is an interesting choice. Why am I saying we're going to go over to LinkedIn? LinkedIn makes it so that not only is it easy for you to get your resources noticed and seen and all that good stuff, but it's really fast to kind of just, if you have Git already, you can build a website at any time, and sometimes it can be a process to get a website built. So if you're just trying to get something off the ground where you can start making money today, not next month or next however long it takes to build like a website or some of these things, LinkedIn lets us get going right away, and then Git allows us to then later, you know, have a website, and then whatever is in our Git repository can then get added over to the website or something along those lines if you want to have like a more branded long-term thing. But we're trying to start fast. We want to go fast. We need to get a company off the ground right now. I don't have time to make a video that's like a couple weeks long. So let's make a company right now. And now to make this happen, let's pretend that I already have gone through the process of installing the Underground Nexus. I will say that it can take a while to get the Underground Nexus installed. There we go. Sorry about that. Light's a little bright. The Underground Nexus, we can have it... it can take a good hour to build itself, but if you have a fast internet connection, it'll take maybe like 15 to 20 minutes to build itself when you activate the Underground Nexus. I'll let you use the quick start guide. So let's say that you then go over and open Firefox once you've got the Underground Nexus built. Then we're going to be at this wonderful, beautiful page here. Great. This is going to let us scroll down when we open Firefox, and we are going to find GitLab right here, and we will open. We can get logged into GitLab. There's guidance in there, so you'll want to follow the guidance to figure out how to get logged in for your self-hosted instance. Or, of course, you could just use whatever self-hosted GitLab instance that you prefer. Maybe you already have one. I don't know what you have or what you don't have, but this is a fast way to get started, or even start a new product. Now, let's say that you already have an instance. Now, I have an Underground Nexus environment that's been configured. We need to come in here and we need to create a new product, and it's kind of up to you how you want to build your product. You might be in a situation where you can just build your product outright, straight from creating a blank template, which is what we're going to do. Or you could alternatively go and find something that already exists. See how it says you could run CI/CD from an external repository? That's one of many options. If you choose that, that does require having a premium license or an enterprise or ultimate GitLab license. But if you are using the free version, then you can just say create a blank template. And then let's make sure that we can start understanding how to get security right away. You can get security testing right away. We don't have to wait DevSecOps. That's why we're doing it this way, right? So I don't want to have to go figure out how I'm going to secure this stuff later. I'm going to just start getting all of my security going right now. And I'm going to save this project. Let's say that I've already built this. Anyway, let's say you just want to create a product or project. I'll just make something and we'll give them names, and I'll talk about what this means later. In this case, maybe just say create a public repository if you're testing, and then when you say save, I'll just show you this is the repository that I made. I called it Cloud Brute Forcer because for my product I'm going to make a security testing tool for penetration testing, hacking, red team stuff for those who like doing security stuff. But it could be a website, it could be whatever you want to create and sell. Now, for me, I want to say that what I'm going to show you is how I made my first, everything that I needed from like the first 6 figures all the way to generating what I needed to fund being able to build the Underground Nexus, which is a solution that I sell nowadays. But the Underground Nexus wasn't how everything started. Everything we started was actually in a little tiny terminal. We just used Kali Linux. And a little tiny Kali Linux on Raspberry Pis is how we originally started, and then we graduated to Kali Linux containers instead of Kali Linux on Raspberry Pi. The catch about having, say, like containerization versus virtual machines versus having servers for everything is that if you have to have like a physical server or a Raspberry Pi for every product that you want to get out to a customer, then the scalability is a little more complicated. So containers are quite scalable. So we moved from using bare metal systems to using containers. And then this approach right here is showing our more evolved approach so that I'm not going to teach you the most painful way to start building something. But now we have a way to start building a product, right? Now, what if I need to populate this product? I can go over to anywhere on GitHub, and I'm going to go and so I already have the Athena 0 right here. You can see Athena 0. It is an Athena 0 pen testing toolbox. It's a cloud brute forcer that I created once upon a time. If you were to clone this repository or get it a different way, then you don't have to worry about copying everything over. You can clone this whole repository instead of just saying new project like this. But I'm going to just copy some stuff over. So I want this README, and I'm just going to grab everything in the README, and I'll just toss this in my new project. And I'm just going to go update this README here and say we can open in Web IDE or whatever we want to do here. And now that I have, let's see, make a change. I'm not necessarily teaching you how to protect your branches right now. I just want to teach you how to get something going. So, all right, let's close our Web IDE and let's refresh this. Okay, so we just want to start populating this. And then while I have only added a few things, now I need to add a file in here. So our README is populated. Got a product. Let me continue to add things to my GitLab repository here. So I'm just going to add a product. So once again, you could go and get stuff. GitHub has all kinds of resources. Docker Hub has resources. There's other GitLab repositories. You don't have to use something that you've made from scratch. Kali Linux is open source, so you could go find something else that's open source. You could use WordPress, that's open source. There are all kinds of open source resources that you can use to just start building a product without starting all the way back from square one. So let's go back to Docker file, productions artifacts. So I'm going to grab this Docker file and I'm going to copy this information next, and I'm just going to make a new file. This is going to be our Docker file. All right, so we have some stuff in here. For the most part, you can just leave that on apply template and not really say anything. You can put notes here if you want. Okay, so we're making a new cloud brute forcer. We're saving this. And this is going to allow us to just go back to now have a file in here. So voila. We've just created an application. It can be that fast to create an application. It could be even faster if you were to just clone an existing project as well. But now we're going to mirror this all the way over to our GitHub. So we need to do the next big thing. What we're going to do is we need a repository to mirror to. So let's say that we want to go to GitHub and we want to say create a new repository here. Then we can add a little repository. You can create a new repository, and as you can see here, this repository is what it looked like before I set up a mirror. But if we go and we configure a mirror and make a new GitHub repository right here, so let's just pretend like I just saved that new GitHub repository. And I want to then send everything from GitLab over to, let me make my face smaller here for this. So we now want to send, our product over to GitHub. In order to do that, we are going to have to know how exactly we're going to create a push mirror. So if you go and look through GitLab's documentations, they have documentation on how to set up a push mirror. So right here we can see push mirroring. This is what we want to do, push from GitLab. And we can scroll down here and it has set up a push mirror from GitLab to GitHub. You do want to follow this exact format for your keys. It has to look just like this, and what you need for this part here is exactly what this dictates, is on number 2 here, step number 2 here, under set up a push mirror from GitLab to GitHub, is enter your personal access token. Now on GitHub, we need to know where to find an access token. It's actually under your settings. You can go down to settings, And then there's this thing that says developer settings, and then notice it says personal access tokens, which I'm not going to click on because I'm not going to show you my tokens, and you shouldn't show your tokens either. And you shouldn't show the contents of your tokens ever. Don't do it. So, anyways, security. That's the one thing that you want to be careful of. And once again, because our source code is in GitLab, what if you did accidentally expose your tokens? This is why we're doing it this way, because then if you do accidentally get your GitHub breached, let's not panic. It's okay, because your source code is protected in GitLab. So your tokens get exposed. The world's not going to end today. Not today, not tomorrow. You just might have to recreate your mirror at worst. So now let's say that we have decided to go, we've created a new project. We need to now go to GitLab, and we need to go to where we have this option. If we select repositories here, and it takes us over to these options where we have mirror. And if we come down to mirror over here, if you enter in the token, you actually don't need to enter anything into that password field over here. This can be a little confusing. So you might be like, oh, what do I put in for the password? I'm so confused. You can actually just put in this one line of code or whatever, but this is the URL to my GitHub project. My GitHub project, as you can see in the top left corner, is product demo. And this is the product demo link to it, and we have our personal access token in there, and it shows that it's setting to automatically push. So 5 minutes ago it says that it just pushed, so let me go over here. We made these changes. So in here I added an updated README, and I added our actual product. Boom, we have a product. Hey, product everyone, amazing. So now I can go over to GitHub, and I can just refresh this because I've mirrored this, and let's see if our mirror is working. Let's go. All right, so I'm going to show you what to do when you go to mirroring. Scroll down. Sometimes you have to click this little refresh deal, and then it will say the repository is being updated. It can take a little bit of time for your GitHub to receive updates. And if you just wait, it'll do it automatically if you configure it to do so. It should just do this every X amount of minutes or so. So if it's not working immediately, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. I promise it's most likely just fine. You'll get a little notification error if it's telling you that it's not going to work. Otherwise, if there's no error, then you're going to see your code appear. And notice that all of a sudden we have this amazing mirrored information. And forevermore, from now on, notice that I didn't do anything other than just create the GitHub repository. Great, now I can just work away from the public cloud, and my source code is away from the public cloud. And if I accidentally expose something, or I accidentally have an oopsie, or I can move faster because I can have less risk than I would have otherwise. Lower risk, amazing. Less risk is an amazing thing. Hey, I love having less risk. So now that we have less risk, we can simply say, okay, well, I want to go and share my product. Maybe you've put a lot of work in here like I have. Maybe you've made YouTube videos on how to do the thing. But like I said, this is how we made all of the general beginnings of what allowed us to fund the Underground Nexus and fund growing everything that we do, and all of our companies got us to the first 6 figures. Keep your early product simple. Like really, if I show you what this early product is at a glance, I'll just show you what it is. Whoa. We made a game out of it. We made, so it's a pen testing tool, but what I did was make a game out of the pen testing tool so that, let's see, let me just move through here. This is the product. Like, it's literally just this. I kid you not. Like, it's It's a shell. Amazing. It's nothing but just a terminal client. There's nothing beautiful. There's nothing that fancy. It's really just this. That's it. That was a minimum viable product. Now it took some time to, build this and get it together and stuff, but it didn't take nearly as much time as it took to build, say, like, now this is a much fancier thing, and believe it or not, the Athena Zero, or our little brute forcer tool, still lives in the heart of the Underground Nexus and is the core central piece that then manages all of the general automation for the structure. So we still use the thing that we started with. We still use where we began, and now we've just made it way more beautiful. As you can see, it's way prettier than this old thing here. So anyways, you can add whatever you want to your repository that's going to be in support of your solution here. So I have a guide here so that folks can learn how to do this themselves. They can facilitate their own little games. You don't even have to necessarily put in this much time to kind of get your first product going. You can just have like yourself and your product, and then you can deliver services with nothing but a calendar. So you could put like your calendar in here, like, would you like me to build this for you? Put your Calendly in there, and then someone can pay to have you build this for them, or something along those lines if you wanted to do that instead of some of this. So this could be a calendar. You could have a calendar here if you don't have time to make documentation, or you could use ChatGPT to build all your documentation. Just use ChatGPT to start doing all the things, and ChatGPT will still let you get out the gate pretty fast. So now that we have this resource here, we can grab our Git link, and we can go over to our LinkedIn profile. If you have a LinkedIn profile, let's take a minute to look at something very specific on our LinkedIn profile, where we have this thing that says providing services. Also, if you're selling something, go turn on creator mode. And then come over here and select the services that you would like to provide. And then make this detailed. You can use ChatGPT to move fast on this too if you just need to get something out there. You can make it better later. Make things better after you make money. Get it out the gate when you don't have money. No money, get it out the gate. Money, then you can start making things pretty. So we're just going to say plus, and we're going to say add video, add link, add link. You can add videos too. You can add whatever's in support of your resources. And then you can add videos and stuff in here too. You can add descriptions, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to start a post. You can start a post when you do this. And now we have this pen test product demo right here. Amazing. Notice that it shows 2 contributors. That's because you're using multiple repository sources. Actually, I don't know. We're going to open this. And if you say visit website, product. We have our product. Put your calendar on there. And then let me show you where else you can put... the other thing you want to do is you're not ready to sell things yet. How do you get ready to sell things? If you're just getting a new service out the gate, have a conversion optimized link. Let's go over here. Have a conversion optimized link where you have your where I teach people marketing right now with AI. I love AI. I think AI is the best. AI is one of my favorite things on the planet, and I love developing it. So for me, I've been using AI to help people get their marketing to blow up. That's just what I've been focusing on lately. Your service might be something different, but that's another place where you could put like your Calendly link. If you've never heard of Calendly, let's go look at what Calendly is. If you've never heard of Calendly, this is Calendly. You can have a calendar. It lets people automatically book themselves so that they can get booked to work with you without you spending all this time on things. Toss that on your LinkedIn profile. Toss that in your repository, unless you have something else a little fancier. Some people do have websites already, so if you already have products and things like that, or website, then you can put like a conversion link. So like we build our own products, so we have all kinds of stuff. So it could be like if you have a product, I sell something called Automate Boring Things, so that you could put that link there, and then it lets people come over here and they could get started today. You know, all those things. You can learn, if you come over here, you can check out the Drop Squad Survival Guide. You can click on the Drop Squad Survival Guide and you can learn how to start a whole business model and framework with this whole thing. So anyways, boom, now you can go and start a product. This whole thing here will give you a little bit of a business model and guidance on, oh, well, what the heck do I do next with this? A product, now I gotta make money with this? Well, now you need to learn some business. That's what we're here for. Thanks for listening. And most importantly, remember that your product that you've now built, keep it off the public cloud. Keep your source code safe. You can move faster when you don't have to worry about everything dying. You don't have to worry about getting hacked all the time. You don't have to worry about spending months configuring your security or all these other things or wondering what disasters could happen. And then it's self-healing. If something happens to your GitHub over here, something happens to this, watch this. We could just say item. Delete this item. Delete this item. This item has been deleted. So that's the thing that was doing our vulnerability scans. And I just deleted the thing that causes the vulnerability scans. But the vulnerability scans don't happen on GitHub. And our source code is not gone. So, oh no, we've lost some code. We've lost part of our product. What are we going to do? We're just going to come back over here and we're going to just say refresh and update once again. And we're going to watch this thing update our little whatever. And we're going to just refresh. And it could take some time. So like I said, it's important to just know that it could take a little bit of time. But you've now seen the process. You've seen the journey, and if it finishes doing this, then you'll see that it will go and it will forcibly repair this. It will just forcibly make that item re-exist, and that is how you build a developer vault. Congratulations. Congratulations and enjoy, and thank you for watching. Go build a product. Go put your product on your LinkedIn page, and do something special. My name is Nate O'Reilly. Appreciate you. Make something special.